The Harvest Moon Festival, the 5th episode of Hell of a Boss. For one, I think I have a new character to simp over because damn, this one is good. Saddle up, pups. It's gonna be one hell of a rodeo ride. Hey pups, RP here, and welcome back to another hell of a review. And we're back on track with the 5th installment of Season 1, The Harvest Moon Festival, where we meet a new character and mosey on over to the Wrath Ring. Yee-fucking-HAW, bitches! And sadly, for all us hardcore Millie fans out there, this isn't really a Millie-centered episode like we were all hoping for, but hopefully we'll get more soon. That being said, let's settle up our ponytails, y'all. We're going for one hell of a rodeo ride. The episode actually starts off right after Blitz and Stolas' little bang for your book session, with Stolas saying he needed to push it to an earlier date so he can use his book at the Wrath Ring's Harvest Moon Festival, and invited Blitz and his employees to come with them. Well, he mostly invited Blitz, and I believe Blitz later invited Eminem, and of course took Luna along with him because that's his daughter. And we know Blitz said he's never been to Wrath, but ha ha ha! Spring Broken begs to differ. Anyway, Millie's super excited about the festival. Moxie, on the other hand, he's not so thrilled. We'll see when we meet Millie's family. Mostly her parents, and at least a handful of her siblings. Speaking of which, we get to meet them and Millie's parents, Joe, voiced by Ed Bosco, the OG voice for Alistair, and Lynn, voiced by Sue Jen Chase, whom had a few roles in Braden Rogers' miniseries, such as Blood and Makeup and Blame the Hero, who are your typical born and raised rough and tough Texan couple, just the kind of guy who'd wrestle a bull and snap its neck in one swift second, and Lynn would serve said bull's head for the family dinner. And we already see that they don't like Moxie very much. Obviously because he's not the typical Rathian imp, or the kind of guy they wanted their daughter to marry. Moxie's your typical nerd, who couldn't hurt a rabid puppy if he wanted to, and if his life depended on it. Not the kind of guy parents like Joe and Lynn approve of, but they already love Blitz, and wished he married Millie instead. We also meet Sally Mae a little later in the episode, whom is a trans female character, voiced by Morgana Angus, who's also trans female, and is probably more well known for her multiple roles in Stand Against Evil. And honestly, this is what I admire most about shows like Helva, Steven Universe, and many more, is representation of LGBTQ+ characters, including those who are trans. And they did a damn good job of it. I give Viv massive props to that. Now, if only we could get some autistic representation, I'll be one step closer to winning Hell of a Boss Positive Representations of Minorities bingo. And that is a mouthful. Speaking of new characters, we meet the family's new farmhand, one of the most simpable characters in the show thus far, aside from a few others we'll see further into the series. Stryker, voiced by none other than Norman motherfucking Reedus himself, whom a lot of my hardcore The Walking Dead puppers will recognize as Daryl Dixon. And before anyone asks or comments, yes, I know Ed Bosco is replaced as the voice of Stryker in Season 2. Yes, I know. I'm slow as hell when it comes to reviews. Let me go at my own pace and leave me be. Stryker's already pretty friendly, and charmed most of IMP at first. Mostly with Millie and Blitz, with Millie laughing shyly at Stryker, flirting with her. And no, she would never leave her little Mox. They're too perfect for each other. And has already charmed Blitz by saying how impressed he is that he's an imp who started his own business on his own. And when he asked if he conned Stolas to get the book, Blitz says, well, yes, but also no, it's transactional. And Eminem's and Stryker's expressions are already saying otherwise. Transactional. Sure, we'll go with that, Blitz. Joe mentions the pain games to them, and Blitz is immediately interested. Millie can't enter because she goes hella overboard. And turns out the last competition ended in 15 funerals, with Millie having caused 9 of them. I really think Millie needs to have a little bit more chill, don't you think? Moxie decides to enter and to prove himself, where they now amuse Stryker, asking him to kill a hell hog in a pen, and, as you expected, Moxie tries and fails at doing so, with Stryker succeeding. Yeah, probably not your best moment there, Mox. Later on, the pain games begin, and while Stryker and Blitz are practically thriving and succeeding in all the challenges, Moxie's obviously not having a lot of luck on his side. Getting beat up, eaten by a shark, and almost killed, while Blitz and Stryker have won the games in a tie. Moxie tries to remind himself that he's good at other things, like singing, which Stryker is also Moxie's successor in. And I know in a video Norman did on himself with a Google search thing, he said he can't sing, but take a listen to Stryker's victory song and tell me Norman doesn't have the voice of a country singer.
Sweet victory, I smell the smell. From up in stinking heaven to the rugged rocks of hell. Sweet victory, with everything I do.
Coincidence? I think not. Norman is being way too modest on his talents here. He does a damn good job of singing Stryker's Sweet Victory song in this scene, and he really ought to do more singing gigs for his career. Back to the review, Blitz reveals he offered Stryker a spot for IMP, which Moxie believes that Blitz is replacing him with Stryker because, well, I mean, look at the two side by side and compare everything Stryker one-upped Moxie on throughout this episode. From already winning the hearts of Millie's family, successfully wrangling a hell hog for supper, winning every last activity they competed in the pain games, and finally singing talents and performing and immediately getting a massive fan base upon being the better version of Moxie alone. And finally with Stryker saying, "Moxie, go fuck yourself," getting the reaction he wanted out of Moxie by crying and running off like the little dramatic theater kid he is. It's believed Stryker won the upper hand here. Later on, when everyone is getting ready for the reveal of the true harvest moon, Blitz admiring Stryker's horse, bomb-proof, Moxie goes upstairs and notices something peculiar shutting underneath Stryker's bedroom door. He decides to investigate it to find what he dubs as a Karman-crafted blessing-tipped rifle, meaning it's a weapon to kill higher-level demons like overlords, maybe all of the deadly sins, and of course, Goshul demons. Stryker has a blessed weapon. Stolas is a Goetia. Put 2 and 2 together, and you already get the point by now. Stryker is confronted by Moxie, or he attempts to confront him until he almost gets killed by Stryker during the confrontation. Thankfully, he makes an attempt to get away by kicking the nightstand, knocking the lamp on Stryker's head, making enough noise for Millie to notice. Moxie is captured again, but Millie is here to save him, and damn, Millie is fucking pissed as hell. She's literally stabbing Stryker in the freaking back, going batshit insane, and making sure Stryker remembers not to fuck with her, and is about to slice him up like a Christmas ham. But Stryker gets the upper hand again, drags Eminem into the basement, and traps him there, while he goes back to his OG work of being the sniper from Team Fortress 2. And it's up to Moxie to get Blitz and stop him. And he had a gun. This whole time. And didn't use it. Bruh. I get that it was in a state of panic at the time Stryker attacked you, but why? Why didn't you use it in the first place? Back with Stryker, as Stolas is revealing the true harvest moon for the festival ceremony, he's about to get a headshot on Stolas until he's stopped by Blitz. And just look at that worry and quick-witted thinking look in his eye. Striker thought fast, and after being confronted by Blitz about being a backstabber, he tries to either seduce, persuade, both? I don't know. I'm gonna go with both here. Seduce and persuade Blitz into turning his back on his meal ticket, Stolas, partner up with Striker, and take advantage upon not just royal demons, but any and all overlords who fucked their kind over since the creation and existence of imps. Going to put this in briefly here, imps and hellhounds are pretty low on hell's food chain, and are deemed lower than succubi and sinners combined, and are ranked even lower than sinners. So, imps and hellhounds don't live very easy lives according to what we've seen so far in the show. Imps are looked down upon, while those higher on hell's ranking live better lives, and living fat. While imps and hellhounds scavenge and scrounge just to make a quick buck for even a crumb of bread. But there are exceptions, like imp hybrids who are ranked slightly higher, but are still in the same rank of other purebred imps and hellhounds, like Striker and Blitz for example. Both are superior to purebred imps, Striker being part serpent of some kind, and Blitz possibly being half succubus himself. While both have different lives, with Blitz growing up in the circus business, and Striker possibly working on Rat's farmlands his whole life, both are stronger and rank higher than a natural imp, but would also be looked down upon, even worse for being an imp hybrid of some kind. So, the two teaming up together could not only be an interesting character dynamic between the two, but a recipe for disaster for overlords who are no better than those who hurt and discriminate their kind for what they were born as. I want them to team up and destroy Valentino! Destroy! Destroy! Back to the main review. Striker seems to have gotten Blitz to seal a deal with taking down overlords, Stolas included, but just when he thinks he's gotten what he wanted, Moxie now has a hold of Striker's rifle and is ready to take down a new target, the target being Striker. So, Blitz is just keeping Striker distracted and leading him into a false sense of security, believing Blitz would team up with him to take down Stolas, but that's just me. And how I see the situation and the scene, so, yeah. Although, it did look real for a moment, instead of Blitz putting up a facade to keep Striker from noticing Moxie, and killing two birds with one stone. But again, that's just me. Suddenly, Striker does gain the upper hand via cliche, having a dagger behind Blitz's back, using Blitz's gun to try to take down Moxie. Striker gets his rifle back. Blitz tries to call Luna, but she doesn't wanna. So Blitz and Moxie have to quite literally back Striker into a corner to take him down, with Striker trying to get a one last shot at both Blitz and Moxie, verbally speaking, with the line, "I still think it's embarrassing. You're wasting a lot of potential relying on a weak little..." But before he can finish the sentence, Moxie shoots at him and delivers one of the most badass lines in the show. "You gonna finish that fucking sentence, partner?" Which Striker does, calling Moxie a vermin. Just as Moxie is about to shoot at him, Luna kicks the door open and finally arrives. And unfortunately for IMP, Striker does escape, but we will definitely be seeing him again. Later, after the festival is over and IMP is ready to go home, Millie gets scolded by her parents while her injuries are being patched up for letting Striker get the upper hand. Moxie stands up to Millie's parents about scolding her for Striker's wrongdoings, and her father, Joe, only gives an approving nod, seemingly indicating a better relationship with Moxie and his in-laws. Later we see where Striker has currently ran off to and calling the client to inform them about the failed mission upon killing Stolas. Surprise, surprise, it's Stella. Yeah, big shocker there. Again, we will be seeing Striker really soon in the show. How soon? Nobody knows. Ooh, eerie. And with that, there's a lot I could say about this episode. and is one of my top favorites from season 1. This episode of Hell of a Boss was probably more anticipated than Cherub. It was released about a month after the release of Cherub. We got a new character that has thousands upon thousands of simps and fangirls/fanboys, and deserves a lot more merch than what Shark Robot and Spindle Horse has given him thus far. At the time of me writing this script, was voiced by the guest star Norman Reedus. I do wish he would return, but Ed does do a pretty good job at voicing the character. But Norman will always be the chef's kiss voice of Stryker if you ask me. And has a badass design to boot. Can we just note that Stryker's design is based off of not just the classic bad guy cowboys from those old western movies, but also Rattlesnake Jake from Rango? From the snake eyes, to the western/cowboy aesthetic, to just everything about his design in general. Can I just say, we are blessed to have a character like Stryker. And as far as his backstory goes, nobody knows what his backstory is! We all know most of the backstories of the characters like Blitz having grown up in the circus business and having an asshole dad and being overshadowed by Fizzarolli, and adopting Luna when she was 18 and dated Vorozka at one point in his life. Millie has a seemingly positive relationship with her family, and until my review of X's and O's, I won't spoil Moxie's backstory. There's been a multitude of theories of Stryker's backstory involving trauma he's had involving royals and higher up demons, and we don't know what kind of imp hybrid he is, aside from being part serpent. Hopefully as season 2 progresses and we get seasons 3 and 4 on the way, I'm praying that there will be a backstory for our favorite little cowboy, and hopefully he will eventually get a redemption arc as well. I feel like out of all the villains in the show, Stryker is the only one deserving of a redemption arc, aside from another character, but I'll save that for a future review. Also, if we get a flashback of baby Stryker, you know that I will damn well be drawing baby Stryker, and I want a plushie of that. I demand baby Stryker and merch of baby Stryker. Baby Stryker for the win! That aside, while this was another Moxie/semi-Blitz centered episode, and not a Millie-centered one, I still enjoyed it regardless. Sure, the animation was choppy in some clips here and there, but that's something I can easily look past, and the story this episode went for does give us a bit of ideas and context in regards to Moxie and Stryker's characters, and some of Millie's too. I feel as if the story was about Stryker not being a bad guy who was an assassin trying to kill Stolas. It wouldn't be as interesting or compelling to his character if he were to automatically join IMP despite his views of higher ranked demons. Still, I absolutely love this episode, and it's one of my all-time favorites from season 1, as said earlier, and really enjoyed it. And I know I didn't give a rank to the other episodes, but for my overall review of the Harvest Moon Festival, I'm more than happy to give this episode 5 out of 5 horseshoes. And I'm probably going to start doing rankings for future episodes in my future reviews, so yeah, look forward to that. From a new character to simp over, voiced by the one and only Daryl Dixon himself, to some of the new character development with everyone's favorite little Broadway nerd, to a new ring of hell to explore in the future, to the overall episode itself. There's nothing I can't say that's a negative or nitpick about this episode. To me, it's amazing. Welp, that does it for another hell of a review. And the next one is gonna be Truth Seekers. That's gonna be a fun one to review. But with all that being said and done, I'll see you next time. Take it away, outro. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and for checking out this Hell of a Boss review. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to join the Pepper Pack today. Sadly, no fan art for today, but if you want your fan art featured, be sure to follow and tag me on all my social links down in the description box below. And big thank you and huge shout out to my $1 patron Picarto. And if you want to support me and the things I do, links to my Patreon page and Ko-fi page will be in the description below as well. Fair warning, my Patreon page contains a lot of 18 plus NSFW works, so it's not for the kiddies. But don't worry, all my Ko-fi stuff is 100% safe for work and is for all ages. It's ready to eat for everyone, just like my fists. Sorry, I had to do that just once. And if you're interested in commissioning me, I will have my TOS commission sheet and my PayPal in the description down below. With all that being said and done, I'll see you in the next one, pups. And always remember to stay awesome, strong, and beautiful. And in the words of Markiplier, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!